How's it going, Lisa? Bruce is up. I'm Sixkilla. Welcome back to 12 Hours to Die. I think it's time for us to hit that Inquisition that I've been looking forward to. I'm curious to see how that goes down. Let's just jump into it. There you are. Cecile? Was she waiting for me? The guys are already in the courtroom. We should join them. Yeah. This is it. Hey, Tomoka? Whatever happens in there, you must be ready to face the truth. The truth will hurt, but there's no avoiding it. It's the only way we'll make it out of here alive and take control of our lives again. Control. No matter how hopeless it may seem, never stop fighting for the truth. You can do it, I believe in you. If we don't find the truth here and now, we will die. But not just us, the truth behind their deaths will die along with us. I don't know what my life will be like after this, but right now, I must expose the truth behind their murders. Their murderer will not get away with this. Sorry, I'm still sick as well, as you can probably tell. But you gotta get it done, you know? That's why I have a bucket of coffee right there with me. Keep me going. Welcome. Jeez, tough crowd. Well then, everyone take your places. Is it? Tough crowd? Nobody likes you, dude. Captain AI Man. Initiating Inquisition.exe. Sure. Edmund. Reyna. They died before they could achieve their dreams. No, they were murdered. One of us killed them. I'll never forgive them for this. No matter what, I must expose the culprit. That's all I can do for the Lockwoods. Alright, here we go. This is the bit I've been waiting for. Let's do it. Oh. I was an only child, so my parents had no shortage of love to shower me with. I was hardly the ideal child. I had many problems. I talked too much, I yelled, I screamed. But they didn't care that I was a stupid brat. They still loved me. We'd go on picnics to the beach, to the park. My life was perfect. But then, it all came crashing down. My perfect life was stolen from me. I was left an orphan. I had nowhere to go. Until he came through those doors. Hey there. It's okay if you don't remember me. I was a friend of your parents. In their will, they entrusted me to take you in. Over my dead body? I understand your frustration, but you have no say in the matter. You will hand over the Hasagawa girl now. You and your lot are now trespassing. Leave now before I call the police. By all means, go ahead. I'm sure they'd love to hear how you abducted the girl. Abducted? What are you talking about? Her father, Yamada Hasagawa, was the previous leader of the Hasagawa group. In the event of his death, his direct descendant is next in line. In other words, Tomoka Hasagawa is to be the next leader of the Hasagawa group. It is my responsibility to make sure the child carries out her duty. Now that you understand, you will hand her over. Oh, I understand, alright. I understand you're ignoring your leader's wishes. Excuse me? According to Yamada's will, I am entrusted custody of Tomoka until she turns 18. I have an electronic copy on my phone. I can have it verified by the court. If this is true, then we have no choice but to comply. In the meantime, she needs to be protected, so no, that won't be necessary. But we must. She's already been through so much. More than any 10-year-old should. The least she can do now is allow her some semblance of a normal childhood. Sometimes I wonder if this is some kind of divine punishment. One day I was living the dream life, then suddenly everything was taken from me. Now I'm a prisoner, saddled with a responsibility I never asked for. I have to give up on any dreams and ambitions to carry out this duty. I have no control over my life, I never did. Why did my parents have to die? They did nothing wrong. I doubt that, somehow. Why am I always the survivor? Where is the hope in this? It's not fair. Let's begin with a simple explanation of the Inquisition. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. If you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone beside the killer. Also, you may vote for anyone as long as you know their name. Do keep that in mind. Well, pretty snazzy, don't you think? We're outside. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure this room was turned into some kind of medieval tower. That's right. You've all been cooped up inside that jewelry school all day. So I thought it would be a nice change of pace to have the Inquisition outside. And it's complete with all the benefits of the great indoors. Sounds like a lot of pointless work. But why a tower? Ever heard of the girl in the tower trope? It's standard practice to imprison damsels in distress in towers. It's rather fitting considering the prison theme I've been going for, wouldn't you say? Do you even have a life? Not really. So he doesn't at all, he's an AI. So how does this Inquisition thing work? I haven't been in a courtroom in like 10 years. I assume we're supposed to discuss the murders and decide on the culprit based on the evidence. Yes, indeed, and I'll be a judge. After all, only an unbiased onlooker can judge this Inquisition properly. Before we start, there's something I wanted to address. We have Reyna's autopsy, but we don't have Edmund's yet. Care to explain? I almost forgot about that. Autopsy? What's that? You know exactly what I'm talking about. I think she's talking about the necrophile. Oh, that. Why didn't you say so? I'm never calling it that. It's an autopsy. Ah, come on. I thought it was a clever name. Let's answer my question. Where's Edmund's autopsy? It's embarrassing to admit, but I wasn't prepared for 2 murders. So I picked the most recent and most interesting death and opted to forget Boy Genius. So you got lazy. I'd rather you not call it that. Think of it as a freebie. A freebie? So you're saying his killer's getting away? I'm making it easier for you to escape. You should be thanking me. You'll definitely run out of time if you had to solve both murders. So the time limit is still in effect? Yuppers. Now then, to clarify your objective, the purpose of this Inquisition is to find the culprit behind the murder of Miss Brocon. Brocon? Then are you saying there was only one culprit? I'm not saying anything. But enough talk. Start talking. What? You say that, but what are we supposed to talk about? I don't even know where to begin. Let's start from the beginning with what happened before the murders. Makes sense? Okay, let's get started. It's time to begin the debate to decide who we think the killer is. I'm scared, but I have to listen and be ready to speak up. I'm the only person I can really depend on to find the truth. Your first debate is about to begin. Would you like to hear? Yeah, okay, go on then. Throughout this Inquisition, you will encounter several debates. During these debates, the characters will discuss the current topic. Once everyone's finished saying their piece, the debate will start back from the beginning. So it's the same as Danganronpa. It's up to you to reveal any contradictions in their statements. A selection of relevant evidence will be provided for each debate. Cycle through your provided evidence using the evidence selector. Selections of possibly contradictory statements are coloured red. These are called weak points. Once you find the contradiction between evidence and weak points, click on the correct weak point while the right piece of evidence is displayed. Don't worry if you don't get it right away, we'll start simple. Let's do this. What? So the victim is Reyna Lockwood. Thank you, Captain Obvious. She was killed backstage. The killer must have waited for her, then killed her with the weight. Autopsy. Just a second, are we even sure what killed her? Well, yeah, it was the weight, right? But according to the autopsy, she wasn't just crushed with the weight, there were also cuts all over her body. Cuts? Oh jeez. That much should have been obvious. At least to anyone who bothered reading the autopsy. Sorry about that, I didn't read. Sounds proud of it too. The autopsy doesn't state what the cause of death was, so we can't say for sure what killed her. But it's pretty clear what happened. First they attacked her with a knife, then they finished her off with the weight. But are we sure those cuts were made with a knife? We didn't find one anywhere. They were most certainly made by some kind of blade. Unfortunately, we didn't find one during our search. The killer probably disposed of the knife after leaving the gym. But why? It doesn't make any sense. It's not like we could check for fingerprints. He has a point. The killer had nothing to gain or lose from hiding the knife, so why? The knife is what's important here. All we need to know is that the killer attacked with a knife and finished her with the weight. But couldn't the killer have used the knife after crushing her? Possibly, but I don't see why they would. The weight is enough to kill anyone. Attacking her with a knife after her death would be a waste of time. I guess you're right. It wouldn't make much sense. Okay, so Reyna was killed with the weight. That much is obvious. But we all know Cecile did it. What? Oh boy, the first of many accusations. Now this is a real Inquisition. I think it's too early to decide something like that. Come on, think about it. When we split up to find the bomb, everyone left the gym. All except for Cecile and Reyna. They stayed to search the gym. Cecile was with Reyna before she died. She's the killer. Hey, wait a minute. I knew this was coming. But soon you realize I couldn't possibly have killed her. Cecile was in the gym with Reyna, but I know that she couldn't have killed her. Alright, now what? Reyna's wounds, bang, computer. So Ceci couldn't possibly be the killer, they were friends. Wake up, man. Cecile was with her at the time of death. Okay. You cannot refute that. I was with her until after we found the bomb. Then she sent me to find everyone, so when Reyna was killed, I was with Tomoka. Bang. Damn. That didn't work out too well. Whenever you make a mistake, okay. I know I'll lose life and blah blah blah. I've played Danganronpa before. That means she sent me to find. Then she sent me to find everyone. I was with Tomoka. Then it's settled. The hell it is. I know where she was. I just need a way to show it. It has to be bang. There we go. Hold on, I don't think Cecile was the killer. You can say it all you want, but the fact remains she was with Reyna before her murder. She's the only one who could have done it. Billy, do you remember that noise we were talking about earlier? Yeah, there was a loud bang. Nearly scared the bejeepers out of Argus. Hey! More importantly, what does that have to do with Reyna's murder? That bang pinpoints exactly when the murder took place, and that time is a few minutes after the hour 6 announcement. And this is what caused the bang. Stage weights. Obviously, the source of the bang was one of the stage weights being dropped. Maybe, but Reyna's body was under it, right? Would it still make the sound? No, of course not. Reyna's body would have absorbed the impact, but the weight that crushed Reyna wasn't what caused the sound. The bang was caused by a second weight. One weight landed on Reyna, while the other one missed her and landed on the weight's base, resulting in a loud bang. I see, that would explain it. But how do you know that 2 weights fell? The 2 weights fell because of these. 2 ropes were cut, yeah. 2 of the ropes carrying the weights were cut. How does that prove anything? The killer could have dropped the weights without cutting the ropes. No, that's not possible. The ropes were made to slow the weight's descent. There wouldn't be enough force for them to make a loud bang. But when the ropes are cut, gravity kicks in. There'd be nothing to stop the fall, and definitely nothing to stop the bang. But why'd the killer drop both weights to begin with? Who knows? Maybe they were cut during the struggle. What matters is that the bang tells us exactly when Reyna was killed. And since I was with Tomoka, that gives us both alibis. See, what I tell you, there was no way Cece could kill Rey. I see. Never is the obvious suspect. Sorry, Cecile. I guess I jumped the gun there. It's fine, I'd be suspicious of me too. That solidifies our alibis. Now we just need to figure out who was backstage before the bang. Now with that out of the way, let's return to the topic at hand. We know Rey was killed around the time the bang rang out. All that's left is who killed her. So we just need to find out who had the opportunity to murder Reyna. Then we can finally get out of here. She's not wrong, but is it really that simple? Curtain, bomb threat, bang. I left the gym at hour 6:15 and we discovered their bodies at hour 5:50. Dang, they move fast. Since Tomoka and I are the only ones with alibis, that leaves only Billy and Argus. Huh? Wait. It's not me or Cece, there has to be Billy or Argus, but something's not right. Billy said he heard the bang and it scared the bejeebers out of what's-his-face. There we go. Billy, when did you hear the bang? It was right around the time Argus and I met after the hour 6 announcement. It's not just that, earlier you mentioned that the bang scared the bejeepers out of Argus. Do you really have to keep bringing that up? The only way Billy can know that is if they were together at the time, which means they have alibis as well. Frick. Sorry, Cece. How many people would apologize for not killing someone? So that's how it is, but now we have a big problem. Yeah, we're out of suspects. Everyone has an alibi for Reyna's death. What happened? If everyone has an alibi, then Warden must be lying. He's the real culprit behind this. Nope, I know for a fact one of you did it. It would defeat the point of the Inquisition if I went and did the killing myself. Besides, how can I kill with no arms? So how can we all have an alibi? I don't know, it's your problem. Good point. In that case, there can only be one explanation. Rules, Edmund's wounds, bomb threat. So everyone has an alibi, right? Except Edmund, I guess. Wait, the cahoots one. The rules makes it so that there's no point in them being in cahoots, right? Rules. There we go. The rules state that the killer will be punished if we vote correctly. However, if we're wrong, then everyone besides the killer will be punished instead. Warden said so before the Inquisition. I remember. Then you'd also understand why accomplices are impossible. If the killer succeeded, then the accomplice would die along with everyone else. But if there was an accomplice, wouldn't that mean they would be just as guilty? Hey Warden, I know you're listening. Anything can happen, even accomplices. But only the one who does the actual killing becomes the killer. It's kinda in the title. I rest my case. Okay, then what's your explanation? I'm running out of ideas. If we all have an alibi, then there must be something wrong with our assumptions. What that is, I have no clue. Okay, maybe we got the timing wrong. I don't think so. The killer had to be backstage when they cut the rope. Then maybe she was moved from somewhere else. Why would she be moved after being killed? Well... Don't bother, because she was definitely killed backstage. In fact, she went there of her own volition. What, huh? How are you so sure of that? Tomoka, I believe you have the evidence that supports my claim. Me? The note. Something that proves Reyna went backstage. Are you talking about this? Meet me backstage. Alone. You're talking about the note, right? Exactly, this note, which was found in Reyna's pockets, confirmed where she was killed. Meet me backstage alone. Which means we can assume Rey did exactly that. She was murdered backstage. So it stands to reason that the sender is also her killer. Hold on, what if the killer planted that note on her? Yeah, what if they did? The killer could have killed her somewhere else, then moved her backstage. It doesn't change anything. Even if she was killed somewhere else, the killer still did a few things backstage. But there's no other way to explain it. Wrong. There is one other explanation. Yeah, there is. Billy, I don't need a hype man. DJ! Reyna met with her killer backstage, but we already agreed that everyone has an alibi. Not everyone. Huh? What are you saying? How can one of us not have an alibi? There is someone without an alibi? Who could she be talking about? We've established everyone's alibis, there's no one left. No, she can't be serious. You know exactly who I'm referring to. Someone who's been we assumed was far beyond suspicion. Edmund. I know full well who she's talking about. I don't want to believe this, but we can't ignore the cruel possibility. The one person without an alibi is... Edmund. Ed? But he's one of the victims. Nevertheless, the note sender can only be him. It would explain why they were both backstage. But he couldn't have written that note. Because if he wrote it, then he... Look, I'm not happy about it either. But we can't look away from the truth. And the truth is, Edmund was plotting to murder Reyna. What? Are you hearing yourself? This is Ed we're talking about. And his sister. He couldn't hurt anyone, especially not his own sister. After I left the gym, he met with Reyna backstage. Listen to me, but Edmund went to the 4th floor. I didn't leave the gym until about 10 minutes before hour 6 announcement. They gave him almost 50 minutes to sneak down to the gym. No, it can't be true. Edmund waited backstage for Reyna, then he attacked her. And that's when she got the cuts. But Reyna was killed after Edmund. Warden attested to that. I didn't say he killed her, I only said he plotted to. What? After realizing she was being attacked, Reyna fought him and knocked him on the ground. Reyna grabbed the rebar and stabbed him to death. No, that's wrong. You're wrong. She wouldn't do that. They... Consider how dark it was backstage. Reyna probably couldn't see who was attacking her. At least, until she killed him. What do you mean? Tomoka's right. Reyna loved Edmund. She wouldn't dream of killing him. But she didn't know who was attacking her until it was too late. But then, why did Rey die? She died because of that love. What do you mean? Reyna, Yes, after killing Edmund, she lifted both the stage weights, then cut the ropes, dropping one onto herself. She couldn't live with the guilt of murdering her own brother. So Reyna's death wasn't murder, but suicide. Yes. I can't believe this. I never thought she'd go that far. No, you're lying. I'll do whatever it takes to get you out of here. Was he going to... No. Tomoka, I know this is hard to accept. Even now I feel awful revealing this. You don't sound like you feel awful about it, but we can't turn our backs on the truth, no matter how painful it is. No. 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 It's not true. Edmund, he wouldn't. He would never do that. But everyone else has an alibi. He's the only one left. Edmund, he plotted to kill his own sister? I don't want to believe it, but I have to accept it. No matter how much it hurts, I have to accept it. In order to save everyone, I have to accept it. I have to accept his guilt. This is the truth. The only truth. I wish I could disappear. It's over. I don't care about the truth. I don't care anymore. Just end me. Liv. You and my dad were friends, right? Right, but why do you ask? Was there anything The last time I ever saw your father, he told me something I'd never forget. Tomoka will soon travel a road between who she thinks she is and what she can become. I just hope when she does, she'll make that journey, not as a Hasegawa, but as Tomoka. Life is not a straight path. There will be days when things will just happen without warning. I won't tell you you're in charge of your future. Your future is decided by incomprehensible events that happen beyond your control. Some days it'll feel like you're a prisoner to the will of fate. I implore every one of you to dig deeply into your motivations. Find what it is you truly want from your life. When you do, never lose sight of it, no matter what fate throws at you. But if I wanted things to change, I had to be the one to make it happen. That's why I'll do whatever it takes to get you out of here. You and everyone else too, I swear it. He wanted me to escape. He wanted everyone to escape. Would he really kill Reyna? Maybe he expected Reyna to kill him back. I believe it's time for the vote. Warden? Hold it. What? Not yet. We can't vote yet. I can't accept that Edmund tried to kill her. Not until we've explored every possibility. I believe in Edmund, and I believe in Reyna. This is my truth. It's too early to vote. There's still more to this case. We already went over everything. Twice. What more is there? I want to go over the case once again. Something about this still doesn't feel right. Tomoka? Alright, let's do it. Once more from the top. Yeah. At least I delayed the vote. But how do I convince him that Edmund is innocent? I don't know. Shit. Can I save in the middle? I'm worried that I'm gonna fuck it up. Rules, Edmund's wounds, note, bomb threat, bang. There's 5 now. Sometime before the bomb announcement, Edmund wrote a note for Reyna. He wanted to meet her backstage alone. After Reyna and I disarmed the bomb, she sent me away so that they could be completely alone. As soon as she went backstage, Edmund tried to kill her. But Reyna overpowered him and killed him instead. Are you satisfied yet? The evidence does not lie. Their minds are set. Do I even have any evidence to break their argument? I've got nothing. There's no red things coming up. Edmund wrote a note for Reyna. Forgive me. Wait a second. I just remembered something. Remembered what exactly? Cecile, may I look at that note again? Sure. Pause for a second. Then... No. What's wrong? I made a huge mistake. I almost got us all killed. I wrote this note. You what? Explain. Now. I want to talk to Reyna about something personal. I didn't want anyone else to know. Something personal? Please don't ask. Why didn't you mention this important detail until now? I was scared. I thought if I admitted to writing it, I would become the prime suspect. Sure, I totally believe you. They're all seeing through my bluff. I should have seen this coming. Oh yeah! Geez, you didn't yell. Sorry, but I just realized something. I remember seeing Mocha writing a note, then giving it to Ray around hour 8. What? Funny how everyone's suddenly remembering these crucial details. I didn't think it was important. I figured it was just some other note. Billy, you sure you saw her give that note to Reyna? Yeah, I'm 100% sure. Billy, why is he lying for me? Does he believe in them too? In that case... If she gave the note directly to Reyna, that could explain why it isn't signed. Because Reyna knew it was from Tomoka. Yeah, that's it. So Tomoka, when did you talk to her? I didn't. I got really nervous. So this means Edmund didn't summon Reyna backstage, right? It seems so. I can't believe this is happening. I actually stopped the vote. You're lying though to change it. Well then. I believe we have a new suspect. What are you talking about? She admitted to writing the note. Which means she met them backstage and killed them too. Wait a minute. That's impossible. Why? Because she wouldn't lie? It's not that. If Tomoka really killed them, when did she have the chance? I met with Tomoka right after Reyna and I disarmed the bomb. Then we both hit the stage weights, bang. Tell me, how could she be in 2 places at once? Frack. No, Tomoka was not involved at all. However, you're right about one thing. Edmund and Reyna still met backstage. What? Right. Just because he didn't write the note doesn't mean they never met. But how? They're siblings, not telepaths. They still could have agreed to meet earlier. Either that or Reyna assumed she was meeting Tomoka, but Edmund was waiting instead. But why would they meet before the announcement? Only Reyna and Cecile knew the bomb was disarmed. Everyone else didn't know until after the hour 6 announcement. Trying to meet while the bomb was still active is just crazy. Then how about this? He came down after he finished searching his floor. It's no use, they still think Evan tried to kill Reyna. As long as everyone has an alibi, they'll assume the story remains the same. In that case, I'll have to prove the two murders are unrelated. But how? This might be a stupid question, but is there a picture of the crime scene I can look at? There should be one in the autopsy we received earlier. What do you ask? I thought maybe I should look at it before we end the Inquisition. You still haven't looked at it yet? Ah, here it is. Oh god. Yeah, like I said, it's not pretty. They're actually dead. Did you think we were lying? I wish we were. You know, it's cleaner than I expected. Cleaner? In what sense of the word is that clean? My room is cleaner than that. No, I mean... What is it? What do you mean, Billy? I'm desperate. Give me something I can work with. I don't know. I guess I was expecting there to be a lot more blood than this. More blood than there already is? Yeah, that's kind of dumb. You're right, it's nothing. Maybe it is nothing, but something definitely caught his attention. The question is, what was it? Billy said he expected there to be more blood. Now, if I think about how the murder was supposedly committed, maybe I can find the lack of blood he's talking about. His blood. Edmund's blood, which is up there on the catwalk, right? But where exactly? Edmund's blood. Edmund died first, right? Yeah, she killed him with the Reaper. What's wrong with that? And that would mean Edmund was the one who attacked her with a knife. Could you just skip to the punchline? I'm saying that Billy's right. There's too little blood. What are you talking about? I knew it wasn't just me. Hang on. Tomoka, how the hell did you come to that conclusion? If Edmund attacked her with a knife, and Reyna killed Edmund with the Reaper, then why isn't there more blood on Edmund? What are you saying? Why would there be more blood? You've all seen how messy Reyna's wounds are. Blood was still dripping from her cuts. If Reyna stabbed Edmund while he was down on the ground, then why isn't his clothes stained with her blood? But there's blood on his shoes. Do you really think that blood is from all those cuts would only land on his shoes? She would have had to stand over him to stab him. There's no way the blood wouldn't drip onto him. I assume you have some sort of explanation then. As a matter of fact, I do. This is why there's blood on only Edmund's shoes. He found her like that. We haven't done stage weights, I guess. Oh my god, that took like 17 attempts. Stage weights. It's more likely that Reyna's blood splashed onto him when the weight crushed her. What? With all those cuts in her body, I doubt there wouldn't be at least some sort of splash. Kind of like squishing a sponge full of water. I did not need that mental image right now. Disturbing thoughts aside, it's starting to make sense. Mock is right. So that means... It means... What does this mean? Do you even need to ask? She means someone other than Reyna killed Edmund. Oh, I see. Huh. Do you really think it's that simple? What do you mean? The absence of blood does not completely rule out Reyna as Edmund's killer. But Ray would have had to stand over Ed, so you all have a one-track mind. There's more than one way to stab someone. Consider the possibility of Reyna stabbing him while he was standing. He'd fall over without getting a single drop of blood on him. It's quite a stretch, you know. If he was still standing, that would mean Edmund was facing away from her. Simple. He had sliced her a little bit and then ran away. Then Reyna stabbed him while he was trying to escape. Still, no, I won't believe it. Reyna isn't like that. Neither is Ed. Right, Moka? Let me see if I understand. I guess you're saying Edmund attacked Reyna with a knife. Afterwards he ran. Then while he was facing away, Reyna stabbed him with the Reaver? Yeah? But he stabbed in the front. But if that's the case, then how does he explain this? Obviously it's Edmund's wounds, because he was stabbed in the front. If Reyna retaliated while Edmund was running away, how do you explain his bruises? Bruises? What bruises? Edmund had large bruises on his hands, arms, and legs. What's odd is that the bruises were on the opposite sides he was stabbed from. So where did the bruises come from? You don't miss a single detail, do you? We're still waiting for an explanation, Argus. It's simple. His bruises were a result of his fall. His fall? After Reyna stabbed him, he fell over. There you go, the bruises have been explained. Hold on, that can't be it. The bruises are definitely from something more serious than a short fall like that. He was falling from the catwalk. It's more likely he was beaten with something, like the rebar or the microphone stand. I feel like we stumbled onto something big. It all has to do with those bruises. I must think carefully. How were those large bruises formed? I can suggest that Edmund's bruises were formed from falling. Could that be true? Yes. But Cecile just said the short fall couldn't create such serious bruises. But what if he fell from a higher height? The fall was too short to create bruises of that magnitude, but the microphone stand and rebar are also too small to create those large bruises. I get your point. Do you have a better explanation? I do. The cause of Edmund's bruises was falling. Falling from where? The catwalk. That's easier, there's only one place he could have fallen from. Where else but from the catwalk? The catwalk? But that's... Tomoka, you sure about this? I am. When Edmund went to search the 4th floor, his search brought him to the catwalk. His killer pushed him off, setting him falling all the way down to the stage. I see, I think that makes sense. That is plausible. No, that's what happened. I knew that at the time when we first went up there, when we first started investigating. Ceci, you remember, right, Tomoka? If Edmund fell, then that explains what we found backstage.